everybody, this is Jenny McGurvey, and I'm going to share with you today how I created this page using the Scraptastic Club Wipeout kit and add-on. As you can see right there on my workspace, I have an Instax photo that I want to scrap with this particular kit. It was a photo I had just taken yesterday at the beach, and I absolutely loved the photo, and I didn't even know that I was going to like it until it developed. Obviously, with those instant tight cameras, it's hard to tell what you're going to get, and I wasn't really necessarily looking for a specific moment. I was just sort of shooting randomly, and then this photo came out, and I absolutely loved it. The composition, the actions, the sort of haziness, all of it. I love it. So I was very excited to use it, and I knew I wanted to attach it to either a tag or a 3x4 card or something like that. I had kind of this vision in my head, and then I really wanted to use the tiny attacher to attach a pile of die cuts as well, and I just wasn't exactly sure what I had in mind. I had a really loose idea, and so that's why this kit was perfect for this, because it has obviously a really fun summery beachy vibe, but then also it's got tons and tons of awesome die cuts, and so it was exactly what I needed to scrap this one particular photo and the particular page that I had in mind. Now I'm using a lot of the exclusive cut apart paper that comes in the add-on kit, and what's cool about the cut apart papers is that they are various 3x4 and 4x6 on one side, and then on the back side it is a patterned paper. So if you don't want to cut apart and you want to use it as a patterned paper, you absolutely can. That's totally awesome. This month it was really hard to choose because the back side was that really awesome grid, which was made up of a whole bunch of different colors, and so it wasn't even your typical boring old grid with black and white or gray or whatever. It was, aqua and turquoise and yellow, and really very cool and looked great. So I wanted to make sure that I had the opportunity to use a little bit of that as well. So I used some of the back sides of those cards on this particular layout along with some of the front sides of the cards. So really, in all honesty, I only used one piece of patterned paper and one piece of cardstock, although it is just so awesome, and given the nature of that piece of paper, there are just so many different options to choose from. Now I'm just going with a basic grid design, and one of the tricky parts about a grid is getting everything lined up correctly, because it can be difficult to make sure you've got everything all straight and narrow. Even if you're going to layer things on top of one another and add clusters here and there, it's still sort of important to get the things lined up, and I have a hard time with that, mostly because I'm not really a perfectionist, and so I don't normally care, so I'm not really all that great at doing that, so it can be a little bit more difficult for me. Now I'm lining some of the things up on my paper before I adhere them, and that part is awesome. I love getting the general idea and seeing how it's all coming together, but the bad part is sometimes those things shift when you're adhering them together, and then they don't look quite the way that you wanted to, or quite the way that you had them before you adhered them, and I always just hate that when that happens. But it's okay. Normally it works out just fine, and it doesn't really make that big of a difference. Now I'm going to pull out some of these Ellie Studio die cuts because I want to create a cluster in that upper left-hand corner right on top of that, and adjacent to that 3x4 card. And I know that my title is also going to go over there as well. So I want to find a couple of pieces that go well with the color scheme, fit in that space, and don't compete too much as well. So it's kind of a tall order to fill, but that's the good thing with having so many embellishments to choose from, is that there are lots and lots of options. Now these exclusive wood veneer and foam pieces are really, really fun. I love the pattern, and then those wood with sort of the different textures on them are really a neat touch, and I like the way that they contrast with the paper and the die cuts on this page, for lack of a better term. So I'm just going to go ahead and adhere this wood grain looking tag from the Ellie Studio die cuts right there, and that's where my title work is going to go, and it looks awesome so far. And then I'm going to start with my title, because I know I want to have that sort of be the anchoring base of this particular placement, and so that's why it's important for me to get the title down before I do any more of the embellishing. I'm just using the exclusive alphabet stickers that came in the kit, and I love them. This font is pretty much my favorite of all time. It's super simple, super modern, fresh, clean, and that's always sort of my deal. So I love having that to use here, and they're a really good size. They're not too small, but they're not too big either, and so they work really well for titles. Now, because I've got the base of that title work finished, I'm going to go ahead and start adhering some of the other pieces, because as you can see, I don't have the entire title finished. I need to get some of those other pieces down before I can add the R and the S to the title. So now that I've got that all sort of set up and situated and adhered, I can finish with the R and the S, and then I can go back and also add a little bit of the embellishing that I want to do as well. Now these puffy stickers are just adorable. They're super whimsical and cute, and then they add that little bit of dimension. And what I like about it is that we're just sort of keeping most of that up here in that upper left-hand corner, though I do have the wood veneer down on the right-hand corner, but that's the only thing that's really down there, at least right now. Who knows how I'm going to feel in a couple minutes, if maybe I need to add a little bit. Now I'm going to layer these right behind the sun, the puffy sticker, and then I'm going to go ahead and adhere that play wood veneer right on top. Now I just use my regular gun or adhesive for adhering down those different pieces. So like in this instance, the wood veneer, I don't feel like I need to pull out a special adhesive for that or anything. It works fine. And I could use glue dots, I could use a whole myriad of different things, but this works great. And so there's no need for me to use something separate. I love this adhesive because it's super sticky and it really lasts. I have found over time that some of them do not stick as well. I can tell you that I have pages from 2002 that a lot of the elements are down in the bottom of the page protector. So it's really important to me to have a super sticky adhesive. Now I'm just going to add a couple of the foam stars down to this right hand corner, and that's it. All I'm going to do is add a little journaling and I am finished. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching my video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you liked it, please leave me a thumbs up. It lets me know that you liked watching it, and it also lets YouTube know the types of things that you like to see. Thank you so much for stopping by, and make it a great day.